the first source book on political education. And I think he has explained what is contained in that source book. But why the source book? The Office of Registrar of Political Parties has always been concerned the manner in which Kenyans look at political parties and political processes, especially the ones that touches on political parties. And the political class, the people who participate in the electoral process as politicians. We are usually concerned.
All right, so that is Andy Ritu, the Registrar of Political Parties, there at a launch of the Kenya's Political Education Sourcebook at a Safari Park right here in Nairobi. Ruth Wamboi will be giving us more details about this book and the event today as we continue with our day's coverage. But in studio, we have been talking about the road to the August polls. And just to bring in my guests onto this, before we continue with our point we wanted to pick up earlier, now we have a very own first source book, the Kenya Political Education Source Book, that is being launched today. From where you sit, what is the key highlight of this? Just 20 days to the election, having such a resource, and what will it change in our electoral process going forward, in your assessment?
Thank you. First, let's not mislead the Kenyans that with the election, then things should stop. Election is a process. Kenyan life has to go on, and everything has to proceed. What the ORPP is doing there actually is a result of an engagement between her office and the political parties for the last 5 years. So most of the political party leadership that is there is a lot that has been actually taken through the whole technicality, legal expectation, the time frame, the schedules that we are supposed to operate under as parties. And it is the same that we use to actually train our candidates and our members. So it is just a resource that is going to be in our libraries, something that we can refer to even as we better our democracy in the country. And I don't see anything wrong in that happening now, even if it is 20 days to the election, because this is a process to make our politics, our way of debating, handling election better. Yes, so I see totally nothing wrong, even with the timing. About what Wakili was saying, actually, Wakili was way off my remark. Completely. Yeah. Yes. What he referred to, yes, concerned the commissioner. It's not my school of thought at all. What I said is this. First of all, your question again was misleading him, because you asked how can we handle this crisis? The crisis is in the minds of people like Wakili. There is no crisis whatsoever to IBC.
The issues being raised.
The issues that are being raised. Now this is where I have a bone to chew with those who think there is crisis. If you truly you are a Kenyan, na wewe ni mzalendo, why can't you put this formally so that you go for what is the result? Why do you want to talk to Chebukati in a rally, on social media? I mean, your interest is not even to get the answers, because you know very well Chebukati with his schedule, he's not gonna look at what you're even writing there. It's just rumors and rumors and rumors, and we are destroying our systems, ourselves. If truly it is something that needs to be addressed, Wakili is cool. He knows how to handle this. How hard is it for him to just walk into that office, put his request formally, wait for 7 days for replies? Yes, and I still insist, whatever Chebukati and IBC and the whole team are doing, I support. I would stand by it anytime, because IBC has worked with political parties for the last 4 years. If we had complaints, did we have to wait 20 days to?
Good question, Wakili.
Let me
he's reading malice on how these complaints are being, brought out.
When he's saying, but let me just respond to
why can't the people who are complaining just face IEBC and formally lodge their complaints?
The first thing, it does not work at IEBC, so I don't think you should be defending them that strongly.
I'm just a good Kenyan who really appreciate when my fellow Kenyan is pushing to the right direction.
Yes, you should not be defending them because you don't know what is happening. Petitions they receive.
I think otherwise. You shouldn't castigate them either.
Petitions they receive, I'm sure they receive, and they respond to whoever it is. But when also issues come to the public for, you need to also deal with them publicly. Whatever has been done in private, that will be handled in private. I'm sure they answer whoever it is who shows up there. They tell him this is the position. But what of issues which have been brought to the public of public concern? The issues of public opinion. I raised the issue of them being as clean as Caesar's wife. That is what they are. That is the pedestal. Because you cannot start, because rumors are part of our society. Of course, the people raising the concerns could be misguided, could be having their own misgivings in terms of the whole aspect. But then, what is so hard to just say, whatever that document going around social media, it's not true. That's all they need to say.
Okay.
And once that is done, that will be the case. Let me just defend myself about what he's saying. So that's on the first bit. On the second bit, IBC is a public body receiving public money, a lot of resources. Actually, even some more than other government departments. So they need to be held to a higher pedestal. They are dealing in a trust deficient society. They are supposed to be trusted. You cannot trust them when allegations are going by and they're not vindicating themselves. And you know where we have been as a country. As a politician, I would expect you to be even holding them to a higher pedestal, because at the end of the day, you will be looking for me to, after you have lost your election in an unfair manner, you will be looking for me to again sue IBC. Sue IBC. So if you are supporting them strongly this time, I'm sure if it's not you, unless you are planning to go and rig and
Gibson, we'll leave it at that.
But it doesn't look like somebody who can rig.
Wakili is really overstepping.
It doesn't look like somebody who can rig.
But Wakili is really overstepping.
Allow me now. Allow me give you some guidance on this now. Can you imagine that we've just, spoken about the commission alone, and the election preparedness touches on all other players in the election. I hope in the near future we'll have time also to talk about the state of preparedness of the electorate and even the political candidates who are vying in this election, yourself, engineer included. But unfortunately, that's all the time we had. And I'd like to give you both a chance to have your final say on this. So going forward, what is it that you think should be the priority areas for the commission now, that because we have talked about the commission only, going forward with the remaining days as we close this conversation?
My final remarks will go to my fellow citizens. Number one, things could be wrong, rightfully so.
They are.
And my thoughts will be, we don't need to operate in this void of rumors. If there is actually an issue, like, say, he puts it, there are those people who will be going for petition after that. That is a formal approach to solving a problem, and we are a law-abiding country, and I support. But if you're coming up with rumors and you expect an institution like IBC to continue addressing you, engaging you informally throughout, I mean, even the resources and the money that Wakili has kept on mentioning, I don't know where that would hold our country to, because resources are there for this institution to work. They are not going to any individual's pocket, and they are there for the specific jobs. So the fact that IBC is funded does not mean that you are going to look at them like lesser citizens in this country. Respect them, approach them in the rightful manner. They will answer your question. And if one day I ever sit there, I will not engage anybody in social media. I'll go do my job and go back home. I want to actually commend IBC and what they are doing, unless somebody will come up and show me this is wrong and this is how I chose to address IBC.
Well said, Engineer. Gibson, your final word.
So mine is to just encourage Kenyans that this is a very interesting moment. This election is going to be a decider of where we move for the next 5 years. It's important that the person overseeing this election be a person whom we trust, a person who is accountable. Social accountability also demands that, of course, whoever it is that is going to oversee the election is to be accountable in terms of whatever it is that has been said, to come clean and explain that this is what is happening. And other than that, I've already talked about the issue of them managing the election properly by maybe procuring services of project managers so that they ensure that the election is clean, properly conducted, to avoid issues after election.
Okay, Gibson Gisore, a lawyer and political analyst. Also this morning I was having a sit down with Engineer Ruben Liala. He is a member of parliament candidate for Mathare constituency right here in Nairobi, as we are looking at the country's preparedness for the August polls. Only talked about the commission and some of the issues raised and how they ought to have, or they should address those issues. Going forward, we do hope that we'll have an opportunity to pick this conversation and move it forward. My name is Safin Achieng Oma. Really appreciate your time as I hand you over to the Swahili team for Tamrini and Kurunzi Mashinani. Keep watching KBC Channel 1.
Generation inakuja ni sisi tunalidi nchi.
Justina Wangui wa Mae, Roots Party of Kenya.
Ukiitwa deputy itika.
Martha Wangari Karua, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party.
Tungetaka tuseme Wakenya wameamua.
Rigathi Gachagua, UDA.
We are coming to bring in change.
Ruth Wambui Musheru, Agano Party. Battle of the Deputies. The Deputy Presidential Debate live on the 19th July 2022, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.